There you go.
We head to Central New York. Dino Babers. There he is. Ain't no mountain higher right there. Look at him. Front and center.
You can tell he's got it. The vibe's going, isn't it? You can hear that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at him. He's looking at you, Pack. You're in trouble.
I'm in trouble. Dino's just waiting. He knows it's coming. He's just waiting. Coach, how we doing?
I'm doing well. You know, you guys even got the right version of that song. I'm fired up. I mean, that was nice.
Yeah. You want us just to shut up? We'll just keep playing the song? That might be the best interview you've ever had with us.
You know what? I'm ready for some Wes and I'm ready for some Mark this morning. I'm in a good mood. Got up, got my exercise out of the way. Pro day here at Syracuse. Spring game tomorrow. You know, let's rock and roll.
All right, I like it. By the way, speaking of pro days, it's got to be the easiest day of your life, isn't it? Pro day?
It's actually extremely busy. I've got a bunch of stuff going on, and then, of course, we've got the spring game tomorrow, so there's things we're doing today that get that out of the way tomorrow. But it's one of those days where you get to thank the seniors, and in this case, with COVID, the super seniors, and we've got a lot to be thankful for those guys, what they came back and did for our family. And then it's a situation where your juniors and your sophomores and your freshmen and your redshirt freshmen get to sit back and watch their brothers perform, and hoping that someday they can get the same opportunity to perform in front of those professional scouts and GMs to see if they can be one of the 1 or 2% that makes it to the National Football League.
I want to ask you about this spring session because, and you know, we talked to Scott Satterfield the other day. This feels like we're normal again, Dino. Does it feel normal? Are we finally back to normal in terms of just the modus operandi of playing college football and getting through a spring and doing the things that we were doing before the pandemic?
Wes, I'm glad you mentioned that because, yes, we are. I mean, it's been abnormal in the state of New York. It started with us, and it probably finished with us. We were probably the last one to take the handcuffs off. But this has been a normal spring, normal meetings, normal things going on, and we're excited to get back to you know, old-fashioned football before COVID.
By the way, speaking of Scott Satterfield, we mentioned the fact he opens up there in the dome. And he's like, you know, I don't know if I've ever been there. And so he said he's already concerned about Dino and the air conditioner. That's what he was talking about the other day on the show.
Yeah.
You know, it's you guys know how I feel. I would love for him to have an opportunity to taste the original, you know, dome, the original. Yeah. But he's gonna get the new version with the air conditioning. But you know, they're a good football team, and they've had a lot of success against us in the past, and hopefully we're going to have an opportunity to get them at our place and see if we can change it a little bit. It's going to be a heck of a game, and it'll be the first time we've ever opened the season with the ACC. So it will definitely get everybody's attention in August that there's no warm-up games. This thing is going to count, and it's going to matter.
All right, I can look at some of the numbers that come out in the offseason, and I know rosters in this world of college football can be a little fluid, a little transitive at times. But Bill Connelly does a really good job of creating kind of analytics and as it relates to returning production. You got 88%, according to their measurement, of your offense back. 88% of your offensive production, 62% of your defensive production. When I give you those numbers, what's your reaction to what you've seen in the spring and that comparison?
First thing I think about is if the defense has only got 62% of their production back, they're doing really, really well.
Yeah.
You know, but between the back end with Garrett and the DBs and that linebacking core with McHale and Stephon and Marlowe, along with the guys behind them and the young defensive line, they've really been giving us some fits. Now, when it comes to the offensive side, you know, Sean Tucker is still here, and Garrett Schrader is still here. And you know, Rhino gets to come back, and we've got some cats. We've got to solidify the offensive line, and we think we have a good top 7 guys. We just got to get them all on the football field and keep them on the football field. The last time we were able to play with the same 5 offensive linemen, you know, we were 2 minutes and 45 seconds from winning the conference. So we want to keep that offensive line on the football field. If we can do that, that'll be our advantage, and hopefully it'll happen this year because it hasn't happened the last 2 to 3 years.
Dino, what was the major priority for the spring going into it? But based on not only what you thought, and now that we've had practices, spring game coming up tomorrow, has that changed as you've gone through the practices?
We've got a lot of new guys. We've got a lot of young guys, and we just really want to take the underbelly and we want them to grow up. I remember when I was younger, I had an older brother, and all I wanted to do was sit in the house and be a mama's boy and eat food and never go outside. And my dad was off in the service doing the things he was doing in the Navy. And my brother, I'm not going to say he beat me constantly, but I always felt like there was a giant dent in the middle of my chest at how many times he punched me right between my chest to make me go outside and play. But I wouldn't be who I am today without that big brother that kept pushing me. And I would say even being slightly physical with me. But that's what we need to do this spring. We need to be physical. We need to make sure the underbelly is ready to go in game 1. And so far, the coaches haven't been able to slow me down. We're just, it's going downhill, and we're in pads, and we're doing things, and that's it. And don't talk to me until practice is over, because we're not going to change.
All right, Tony White's been there a couple of years. I know you feel good about the defensive side of the ball. We talk about it just 62% of the production, but you got the right 62 back. I mean, that's easy to look at. There'll be a lot of interest tomorrow night in Robert Anai and Jason Beck and Michael Johnson and Mike Schmidt, who's come in to help you in the offensive line, to look at that side. What have you seen there that gives you encouragement? You've already mentioned Schrader and Tucker. You talk about the offensive line. I know you're going to throw the ball. You may have the best weapon running it in the ACC in 34, but I know you're going to put it in the air.
Yeah, we've got to work on our throwing game. There's no doubt about it. Those are the things that we've been working on. It's not going to be completely done yet. We've got the spring game tomorrow, but we've got 4 practices after the spring game. We wanted to play the spring game early because we wanted to make sure that we had everybody healthy enough with how physical the spring practice is going to be. But we will get to see some things, but there's no doubt that with it being on the ACC network, everybody's going to be breaking everybody down. You know how coaches are. And we know what's going on in Russia, so I know they know what's going on in Syracuse, New York. But, when spring ball's over, we'll have 4 days to do some things that people don't get to see. We'll close those practices up, and those will be the things that lead us in the start of the season next year. We're still light. We still got some guys coming off of injuries that haven't gone through spring. That's part of that offensive line from last year. But they look extremely healthy, and knowing our trainers, they'll be full speed, ready to go as soon as our 15th practice happens. On the 16th day, they'll be out there cut and moving around like they could have been out there 2 weeks. I'm just playing. I love our trainers. I love our trainers. I really do. They know it's a joke. But, we'll be ready to go. I think this team, once we get it to May and June and July and we start our summer, it's going to be really big, not only the push with the offensive line, getting all those guys in there working together over the summer, but also sharpening the throwing game so when we come out of the chute in early September, that not only can we run the ball, we can throw the ball effectively as well. One thing I want to make a note before I stop, though, is another one of those new coaches you didn't mention was Bob Ligashevsky with our special teams. And you guys, it's been, oh my goodness, it's been light. It's night and day. And to have, I want to say this, because I think this happened, Narduzzi, you know how me and Narduzzi get along. We're good friends. But this is a little bit of a Mark Whipple thing with Pat Narduzzi. This is the first time I've had coaches older than me, on my staff.
Wow, okay.
And to have guys where you can sit down and have a conversation, and it's like you're talking to your wife or something. Like you start talking, and you're like, well, why are we talking about this? We feel exactly the same way about this. Let's move on to something else.
Guess what?
We got to go.
We got to go to New Orleans. You're the man. I will see you soon. Dino Babers helps us close the show. Great to see you, my man. Orange spring game tomorrow night.